Oh, it's okay. So if you could mute, please. Tonight's subject, as you know, is about slam bidding, which we've not done for a long while. So there we are. Can you see the website now? Everybody see the website? Sorry,
No.
Black screen.
We've
Yes.
still got the message up about, it's come up now.
can you see it now?
Yeah.
See the website?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, good. Right, results. I did press record. So yesterday, St. Valentine's Day, just had the three tables, which we sort of did a Mitchell. It was mixed about to get a bit, lots and lots of questions, which is always good, but a comfortable win there for Jean Christensen and Val. Very well done indeed. And Fraser and Ron, a very comfortable win there, and that was a howl. Can I ask anybody who was in Group 2 yesterday, do you know if any slams were bid? Does anybody
No.
want to answer the question?
I don't think so. I didn't
No.
see any.
Didn't see
No.
any.
Not
Now,
in my.
How often do you think slams come up? Hands which you could have made a slam on. How often do you think that happens if you're really good bidders?
No, it's said to be 1 in 15 or something, isn't it?
That's right, Fraser. That's the exact figure I had in mind. Now, I assume yesterday you played, was it 21 boards?
22.
So
22. So in other words, there should mostly,
21.
you know, on average be at least one hand where you could have made a slam. And I expect sometimes you notice you made 4 spades plus 2 or something like that. That happens quite often, and sometimes we wonder if we should have bid a slam. Of course, just because you make 4 spades plus 2 doesn't mean you should have bid it. Perhaps the cards lay right, perhaps the finesses were good. Now, slams. Bidding no trump slams is relatively easy, but we'll just go through it again. I'm sticking slams in the conventions box because there are so many conventions associated with slams. But let's we've not touched this subject for a long while, and I suspect, certainly in my group, people aren't perhaps bidding slams as much as they might do. So star trump.
He's gone.
He's disappeared.
nothing here.
Yeah, we've lost your screen sharing, I think.
Just blank.
I think it's Chris's connection gone completely.
Yeah, he's dropped out again, hasn't he? I wonder
No
why.
picture, no sound.
So he's got a dodgy connection.
Yeah, no picture, no sound.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah.
and see you.
I'm trying to get started again, but it's come up. I'm sorry about this. I don't know what's gone wrong. Right, I can see all of you now. Let's hope third time lucky.
Chris, did you want to stop the recording and start again?
Well, I think I'll carry on.
Okay.
Right, let's fill the screen and let's reshare it. It's a nuisance. Are we back to normal?
Yes.
Good. Well, let's try again, shall we? Bidding no trumps. Bidding no trump slams is really just a question of arithmetic, isn't it? So to bid a slam in no trumps, you need 33 or more points. And that figure is, the reason for that figure is that if you've got 33, you can't have more than one ace missing. So it's a pretty good guide. Some books say 34. Grand Slam, that rarity, 37 or more points. Can't be more than one ace missing. So really, as I say, it's a question of arithmetic, and you know, so long as you know your partner's high card point range, you can either pass, bid a slam, or invite a slam. And if you're not sure how to invite a slam, we'll see in a minute what that involves. Okay. I'll keep moving to, for most of you here, this is revision. I'll keep moving to the next screen unless anybody wants to ask a question. So for example, if you take, we all play 12 to 14, I think of all the people on the screen here. It's just arithmetic, isn't it? Partner opens 1, no trump. And, you know, even with 18 points, you haven't got a chance of having the 33. So between 13 and 18 points, you would bid 3 no trumps. Now, I say bid 3 no trumps, of course, there might be Stayman or transfers involved, but we're tending to look at hands perhaps where they aren't, and we're going directly to no trumps. Generally speaking, if you haven't got a 4-card major and partner opens no trumps, your thought is to either raise no trumps or pass. Okay. Now, clearly 21 points gives us slam. 21 and 12, the minimum makes 33. So with 21 to 22, you would bid slam straight off. Looks very impressive when you do it. 1 no trump, 6 no trumps. I was playing with a relatively beginner years ago, and she put 1 no trump down, and I put 6 no trumps down. I thought she was going to fall off her chair until she realized she got 34 points. Okay, now how do you invite a slam? I think most of you know that if you're in the sort of grey area of 19 to 20, that's when you invite a slam. So that 1 no trump followed by 4 no trumps by responder is not Blackwood. It's not Blackwood. It's inviting a slam. And partner with the maximum 14 will then go on to 6 no trumps. Now, anything higher than that is very rare, and I've never come across it. But with 23 to 24, you could invite a grand slam, and you do that with 5 no trumps. But I've never actually seen that bid made. And there, your partner would go to 7 with the maximum, just bid 6 with the minimum. So remember, 1 no trump, 4 no trumps is not Blackwood. It's what's known as a quantitative raise. So revision, I think, for the people here, most of you, is that okay?
Yeah.
So still on the relatively easy topic of no trump slams. Good. I mean, 1 no trump, 4 no trump is not that rare. I'm sure most of you have come across that at times. And of course, there are different no trump openings. So, you know, if partner opens 2 no trumps, basically you're just subtracting 8 from the requirements, because 2 no trumps, I think we all play 20 to 22 in this group, don't we? So it's the same ranges as before, but minus 8 points. It's the same idea. Again, it's just a case of simple arithmetic. And then the rarer beast, partner opens 2 clubs. You will be usually bidding 2 diamonds just to see what's happening. And two no trumps after that shows 23 to 24. If you're lucky enough to pick up something even better than that, 3 no trumps would show 25 to 27. I've only once ever picked that up. Okay. Now, we're talking about a minimum range for opener of 23. So the points there are adjusted accordingly. They're 11 less than they would be for 1 no trump. Finally, another possibility is the partner bids 1 no trump on the second round. Now that shows 15 to 17, but the general idea is the same. If you know you've got 33, you bid the slam. If you're not sure, if you're a point or 2 short, you bid 4 no trumps. But some of those are reasonably rare, but not that rare. So it's all about arithmetic, isn't it? No trump slams. Okay. All right then. So we're just going to do a few, I hope you'll find reasonably simple. We've got West and we've got East. West is going to open the bidding. And so what we're going to go for as West.
One no trump.
One no trump.
It's a maximum. It's a maximum 14.
Mm.
Although it is actually a flat maximum, so it's not the best maximum. What about East though?
4 no trumps.
Now, when I plan these lessons today, I always, it's horrible, isn't it? It's called Schadenfreude, I believe. The hands are set so that some poor soul may fall into a trap.
Yeah. It's just 3, isn't it? It's not enough.
Yeah, it's top end of 3. Let's have a look. 7, 10, 12 is 17 points.
Yeah.
Now, there's a great tendency when you get a really good hand like that to think, oh, good, slam. But if you think about it, even if partner's got 14, which they have in this case, we've still only got 30.
27.
31.
31.
31.
West got 14.
Yeah.
East got 17. You happy
Yeah.
with that?
31. Yeah.
31.
There's no thought of stamen or transfers here. So you just a disciplined 3 no trumps. I've quite often seen people with hands that 17, 18, they think, oh, it's nearly slam. Shall I give it another go? There is no point because you just haven't got enough high card points. I mean, you might have some, well, you certainly haven't here, but you might have some long suit that you get away with. But the correct bid here, I think, is 3 no trumps. And you're hoping, of course, to make 3 no trumps plus 2. That's 11 tricks, but it's not 6 no trumps. Okay. And the next one. Firstly, West.
1 no trump.
Again, I think it's the same hand as before.
12, 21,
It's got 33.
21. That's, yes,
4 no trump.
I put 4 no trumps next, didn't you? Because I often go up the scale.
17,
That's
21. Oh, hang on.
Why isn't that
21, 33
Not-
points.
You know,
33
five
points?
invitational.
There's no point in inviting slam because we know we've got 33 points.
Yeah, 6 no trump.
All right. Okay.
Our treasurer is joining us, so we'll hear him soon. Now, don't invite slam if you know you've got 33.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't it be nice if these hands came up more often? But here we've got 21 points. We're not interested in stamen or transfers. It's 33. It can't be more than 35. It's not a grand, so don't muck about.
14.
6 no trump.
Yeah, but we don't know whether the
No,
owner's got
exactly.
12 or 14.
No, that's right.
Well, let's assume that they've got 12. Shall we be pessimistic?
Yeah.
Now we're East, remember, we've got 21.
Yeah.
So
33.
even
33.
partner, this is why I always open 1 no trump whenever I can. I don't if all but around because it's so useful. It's such a precise bid. We've got 21 as East.
Mhm,
Even if partner's only got 12, we've got 33.
Yeah.
mhm.
Happy with that?
Yeah.
You're not used to this because it doesn't happen very often, does it?
Well,
We can't have more than 35, so we're not thinking in terms of a grand slam. Those really are rare. Okay, so it always looks nice when you make sure you put your stock card down, of course, and you just bid 6 no trumps. It looks very spectacular. But it's just simple arithmetic, honestly, isn't it? Okay.
unless, of course, the ace king that you're missing are both in the same suit.
Yes, it'd be interesting. That's a good point. You have 7 points missing, say, at worst. You haven't here, of course. but at worst you have 7 points missing. Now, considering all the different combinations that make up 7 points, the likelihood of it being an ace and a king is small. So it is a possible risk. And after that, they've got to find that lead, you know. So it is a very small risk that the ace and king are in the same suit. Was that Fraser?
So
Absolutely right. Yeah. And perhaps that's why books say, some books say 34. I think if you know, with 21 points, partner might have more than 12. I think I would always bid 6 no trumps on that. Okay. I was saying at Ipswich on Monday that in our club, I think more points are lost through timidity than bravado, you know. So definitely go for it. Hello, Tony.
Yes, sorry I'm late. Tesco's
Yeah.
took longer than it should have done.
Nice to hear you. I can't see you, but I don't know if you want
Oh.
to switch your.
What have I done here then? Start a video. There we go.
You've only really just got going, Tony.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
On no trump slams, which you're probably pretty familiar with because they're just a question of simple arithmetic. And here's a nice spectacular example where we as East have 21 points. Partner is shown 12 to 14. Don't invite when you know. Don't invite your guests when they know they're going to walk through the door. 6 no trumps. It is.
I
Okay.
find it's easy enough to get to game these days, but what happens, my thing is when you've got one's got 16 and one's got 17, how do you sort that out? That's the more.
Well, that's what we're just about to come on to, actually, as it happens. I mean, you can see this on the website. That on parts 2 and 3, Tony, there are various scenarios and point ranges.
Okay, yeah.
What you don't need to do is memorize all those. If you know you've got enough for slam, that's 33, you bid it. If you're a point or two short, you invite it. So you don't have to memorize all these various scenarios, but that's where they all are.
Okay, lovely,
Okay.
thank you.
Now, which one did we just look? Oh, that was the next one, wasn't it? What do we think here, please? West first.
One no trump.
Yeah, it's the same again, I think, isn't it? 1 no trump.
19.
19.
31.
6 no trump.
No.
No, we've got 33. This is the trouble, isn't it?
Yeah.
4.
4 no trump.
No. So what we think to ourselves, well, we may have 33, but we're not sure.
Yeah.
So it's just like, do you remember when you, in your early days, 2 no trump means I might have game, but I'm not sure. So with 11 to 12, you bid 2 no trumps. It's just the same thing at a higher level. And that, of course, is not Blackwood. It's saying to partner, please bid slam if you're maximum. Now, should West bid slam?
Yes.
And just looking at that hand there, I think we can see the possibility of 12 tricks very, very strong there. Both finesses would have to be wrong, wouldn't they, in the minor suits? In diamonds there, you've got a two-way finesse, by the way. So it might be best to play your clubs out first, and if that didn't work, you can get at. Can you see in diamonds you've got a two-way finesse?
Yeah.
When you have that luxury, I mean, admittedly, both finesses could lose. That's a 25% chance. You bid 75% slams. Would you like me to announce the score and you got 75%? You would be very pleased. So that we would bid. And the way to play this is to lead the queen of clubs. You can always lead a high card with 4 high clubs there. And play through the hand, and it might tell you who's got more diamonds and give you a much better chance of the way to take that two-way finesse. It's all about bidding tonight. How about this one?
6, 10,
10,
14,
15, 16, 20. Two no trumps.
20. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
two no
two no
trumps. I think that
trumps.
was Tony. It's 25, 10, 14, 15, 18, 20.
10.
20 is as common as 21 and 22 put together, you know.
Right.
4 no trump.
Oh, no, Trump.
That sounds, let's see, 4, 5, 7, 10 we've got, haven't we?
It's not
Mm.
3, isn't it?
It's annoying when you get this situation, but you know, at the most,
3.
3.
Two no trumps.
To be
as
3.
usually happens, it's
Mhm.
3.
Wrong again.
Yeah. Nothing, nothing new there then.
Be honest, you know, it's junior school arithmetic, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
There we are. I think some of you are getting screen nerves on Zoom, you know, if you're doing things you wouldn't do at Martlesham. Okay, next one.
10.
We are starting to get outside people commenting on these.
Two no trumps again.
2
2
no
no
trumps.
trump.
2 no trumps.
Had somebody commenting this afternoon saying, thank you, I now understand the concepts of the losing trip count.
That's
I mean, it's not glowing praise, is it? It's not.
2 no
Six.
trump,
Very
6 no
6.
trump.
6 no trumps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. So East has got 4, 7, 9, 13.
Mhm.
Got to be 33 at least,
Yeah.
so don't muck about. And
Oh, it's ace of hearts.
I think 12 tricks is very much on the cards there, isn't it? How do you play the club suit, by the way?
Ooh.
Hmm.
For each you're missing 5. And
Which club will you win first, however you play it? Do you remember the concept of retaining the finesse position?
Yes.
you don't play the ace, then, do you?
Best card to play is the king. Well, the queen, it wouldn't matter, but let's say we play the king. Now, it may be that one player shows out, and if that's north, you can then finesse the 10.
Yeah.
So when you get that position where you've got two solid cards together with a finesse position, just play the top card first, the king. And then if it turns out that north shows out, you can finesse the 10. You see what I mean?
Mm.
Because most of the time you won't have to do that because the jack will drop. I keep going on to declare a play.
Two clubs.
2 no trumps.
I don't think it's quite good enough for two
two
clubs.
No
trumps.
trumps.
No.
We need to be very precise about our points at this level. I think it's 22 points. Isn't it?
It is 22.
2 no trumps.
Oh, so it is, yeah.
The other side has got 5, 7,
11.
9,
33.
13.
31.
No,
4 no
it's 30.
trumps. No.
Yes, one of the ladies said 4 no trumps, so that's right. Because at this stage we don't know, we've got 33. We've got 11. Partner might have only 20.
No,
But in fact, partner has 22, so partner bids.
6 no
Six.
trump.
6 no trumps.
Get the idea, it's all just basic arithmetic.
Yeah.
I haven't done Grand Slam invites because they're just so rare. I've never seen them come up. But it's basically the idea, but it's 5 no trumps is the invitation, which is either passed or sorry, not passed. With minimum, you go on to 6, maximum, you go on to 7. I've been playing pretty solidly for 11 years, and 13 years, and I've not seen that come up. So,
Are you saying that we shouldn't go through Blackwood at all then?
not at all. You don't need to at this level. And actually, do you know there are hands where you could be in hearts or spades as well? If you've got 33 points, I think I'd bid 6 no trumps even if I've got a major suit fit. Okay.
Hmm.
And we'll be finding very soon that suit slams require quite a bit less often in terms of points. Okay. But I've avoided statement and transfers in these hands. There is no point in checking for aces if the points tell you how many you've got. It just the other trouble is you end up using horrible things like Gerber convention, which I don't encourage at all, because that particular bid belongs to something called splinters, which we'll do on a further lesson of slam bidding a bit later. So no, I don't use Blackwood, because it's just a question of arithmetic at this level.
Okay.
It really is. Right. Number 10.
There's 2 clubs, isn't it?
2 clubs.
Looks like a 2 club this time. 4, 7, 9, 12, 14,
Yeah,
18,
2
19, 24 points.
Yeah.
Yes,
5, 9,
it is
13,
indeed.
13,
22. 32, so that's 4 no trumps then.
yeah.
No.
3,
Because 2 clubs could mean anything.
It'd be
It
different.
might be a balanced hand, it might be an unbalanced hand. Now, most of the time, it's best to wait for partner to describe their hand. And how do we do this opposite 2 clubs?
2 diamonds.
I know we've got 10 points. I would say the only time you bid something else is if you've got something like a 5-card major and 8 points.
Yeah.
Other than that, 2 diamonds is always the best bid, because partner can now say what they really mean. And what does partner say for their second bid?
3 no trumps.
3 no trumps.
I don't think it's high enough for 3 no trumps. Do you remember? How many points have we got? Yeah, it's not quite technically.
2 no trumps.
That's 24.
I know these things don't come up very often, but a bid of 2 no trumps shows 23 to 24.
4.
Hmm.
Yes. Okay. That 2 diamond bid, of course, is artificial, and it should be alerted. I bet a lot of you don't do that, but it should be. And it means if the opposition asks you what it means I'm waiting for partner to describe his or her hand. Sometimes it's called a relay bid. Now, we really described our hand superbly. It's either 23 or 24. So what are we going to bid as east?
6 no trumps.
No trumps.
We know we've got
Six,
33.
Yeah.
10 points plus even 23 makes 33. As I say, they don't come up very often, but you need to know how to bid them if they do. Okay. And we can see, can very clearly see 12 tricks there, can't we?
Yeah.
Okay. A few more bids shown on the screen. Will it be more complicated?
7, 12,
West first, please.
14,
19.
1 club.
1 club.
1 club.
Yes, it's too strong
Yeah.
for 1 no trump. So we temporize, probably, with 1 club.
16.
7,
2 diamonds.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with one of my group, and they bid something like 2 diamonds in this situation
16 points.
to show a strong hand. I don't see any point in that, because 1 diamond, which is what I'm going to bid, partner's got to bid again anyway, leaves more room for partner to describe their hand. We can always show our strength later. So when you change suit at the 1 level, remember it does mean a minimum of, shall we say, 6, but it could be a hell of a lot more. It could be 20. But don't feel rushed. You're just taking away your own bidding space in these kind of auctions. And what about West's second bid?
1 no trump.
Yeah, very good. I think it was Christopher showing at our club at least 15 to 17. Some beginners are taught 15 to 16, but I think 15 to 17 is more flexible.
How many points have you
Some of you may, let's say that shows 15 to 17.
What
So,
would two no trumps be there then?
two no trumps would be 18 to 19.
Ah, right, okay.
Now, when I say that, Tony, I'm saying that's what I've taught and what most people do at our club. But for example, at the place I was visiting on Monday at Ipswich, he teaches 15 to 16 one no trump, 17 to 18 two no trumps, and three no trumps is
That's what we
19.
learned.
If that's what you prefer to play, that's absolutely fine. The thing is, you must agree between you, mustn't you? I prefer the other method though, because it can bidding, excuse me, bidding two no trumps with 18 to 19 sometimes allows partner to show a 3-card major. That's why I prefer it. But you know, if you're used to 15 to 16, that's fine. That's up to you. So what's bid 4 here then? East second bid.
Two no trumps.
Or no trump.
Yeah, you've got the invite bid right, David, but it's at a higher level, isn't it? So partner's shown a minimum 15.
Yeah.
We've got 6, 10, 13, 15, 16.
That's right.
Now, of course, partner's maximum could be 17.
Yeah.
So whatever system you play, you obviously do need to have agreed on that first with your partner. And that's where, of course, regular partners at such an advantage. So I think that's an invite now. We're not interested in anything else other than no trumps.
I don't see.
And so bid 5 by West is,
Six, though.
Six.
yeah, it's actually maximum 17. Yeah, yeah. So that's 6, isn't it?
I got it wrong.
And if you look at these hands again, you can see reasonably very good chances there of 12 tricks, unless the diamonds really misbehaved. That's 12 tricks, isn't it? See there again in that diamond suit, you could finesse 2 ways if you had to for the jack, but most of the time you don't. So I think I get my clubs established first and see if I could get, and then I might cash the hearts and the spades, and then I'll be left with it almost exactly how many diamonds each player had in their hands. So the, you know, but you'd be playing the ace of diamonds first there, because it's the solid bit. Right, finally, in no trumps anyway.
That's 15.
One club.
One club.
Yes, it's a clear 1 club opener there with 4, 7, 11, 14, 15 points. I always think these 5, 4, 3, 1 hands are very, I like 5, 4, 3, 1. They tend to play better than you think. So 1 club for now anyway.
One diamond.
One diamond.
Glad you're saying 1, because partner's got to bid again. Indeed. I know we're very strong. Now, what's the second bid here?
One spade.
Spade.
Showing 5, 4.
Yeah.
And East can see no major suit fit after that. So what does East bid now?
Two no
Two no
Two no
trumps.
Two no trumps.
This is the most difficult one. If Keith were here, he would know it.
Maybe
I'm not
3, I
sure.
expect.
Well,
3
yeah,
no
true,
trumps.
but West did a reverse bid, so that's giving you a points count approximately, isn't
Good
it?
point, but it's not a reverse bid would be above 2 clubs, wouldn't it?
So,
Yeah, it looks like a reverse because you are indeed bidding the suits in reverse order. It's not a reverse bid. It's not showing any great strength at this stage.
18 and 12.
Now, I understand why so many of you came in there with some version of no trumps, but what's the problem?
Hearts.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
Right.
to be bidding. However that strong the hand is,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's very difficult to bid this, isn't it?
Yeah.
Full
unless
suit
you-
forcing.
Oh,
Go-
who was that?
go-
Beryl?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, we've not studied fourth suit forcing in recent times, but what you can do if you know you're heading for game, and I know this might be new to some of you, but
Two
bidding the fourth
Two
suit
hearts.
is quite an easy.
Oh, yeah, just
Now, obviously, if we got, Queen Jack 5, we'd probably be going straight into some level of no trumps. And this forces partner to bid again. Okay, so partner must bid again. Now, if they got 5 spades, which they haven't, they might repeat their spades. You don't really want to be repeating clubs because that would sort of hint at 6 clubs. So what's the other possibility?
You want,
no trouble.
you want to find a
No
stopper
trumps.
No
to
trumps.
see if
Now-
your partner's
No
got a
trumps.
stopper in
No
hearts.
trumps, yeah.
Two
You,
no trumps.
you yourself have a perfectly good stopper in
Okay.
hearts.
Yeah.
50.
Partner has
The
bid
16 is 2 no trumps.
diamonds, so diamonds are covered. So I would bid no trumps here.
Yeah.
2.
Now, fourth suit forcing generally implies I recommend 13 or more points. I'm going to game partner. I've got 13 or more points. Tell me more. And by the way, fourth suit forcing needs alerting because it doesn't necessarily say anything about hearts. It's just saying partner wants me to bid again. Okay. And what would you go for then as West now?
2 no trumps.
I think as we know that partner's got 13 or more, we've
Okay.
got 15.
3 no trumps then.
3 no
Right.
trumps.
And of course, East knows that that must show more than a minimum hand of this type, 14, 15 points, that kind of thing. And what about bid 6?
14 and 18.
Now we've shown, shall we say 15
Yeah.
by jumping.
I mean, things like that.
Think of every trick as worth about 3 points. If partner had been minimum at 12, they'd have been 2 no trumps.
Yeah.
Instead, they've jumped 1 to 3 no trumps. So
Okay.
that indicates about 15 or more.
Yeah.
Now,
6.
So it's 6 no
18
trumps.
and 15.
6.
33, 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
now that was the most difficult bidding sequence I could think of in no trumps. But the vast majority of the time, no trump slams are basically arithmetic. Okay.
Yeah.
That one was a tricky one, I admit, but that's how you get into 6 no trumps there. Okay, you got 5 clubs, 4 spades. Yeah, there's 12 tricks there. Right, so if there's no further questions on no trump slams, we're going to move into the slightly more difficult world of suit slams, unless anybody stops me. Okay, now let's go back to a convention that was invented about 100 years ago, I think, by an American bridge player called Easley Blackwood. I've never met anybody else called Easley, but that was his name.
Yeah.
Basically, the idea is that if you're heading for a suit slam, you think you've got good enough hand to bid suit slams. The only thing in your way might be the fact you've got more than one ace missing. And so Blackwood was designed. So after a suit agreement, in this case, 4 no trumps really is Blackwood. Okay. And it just simply asks him or her how many aces they've got. Now, I think we're all familiar with that. Is that true? Is there anybody who's not come across Blackwood before?
Right.
Right. Now, you think you might be on for 6 hearts, 6 spades, whatever. How do you, the only trouble is, you know, even losing the losing trick count, have you actually got 2 aces missing. That is awful. And it's just a way of finding out. And that's the, you know, it's either when you've agreed a trump suit, if not, the trumps are assumed to be the last suit bid. Now, is that okay?
Yeah.
Now, how you decide that you're strong enough to bid Blackwood, we'll see in a few minutes. But that's how it works. Now, I think generally in this club, the level of ability, which by the way is rising quite steadily in Group 1 week by week, which is marvellous, I would actually use a slightly better version called Key Card Blackwood. This is what I recommend. Now, I know people like Keith and John and Caroline, I think, do you use Roman Key Card Blackwood?
Yes.
Yes. Now, that is really for regular partnerships. It's great if you know what you're doing, and it's useful for bidding Grand Slams. My recommendation, most of you, is use Key Card Blackwood. Now, quite clearly, the King of Trumps is just about as important as the Ace of Trumps. You don't want to be missing the King of Trumps. So all that Key Card Blackwood does is count the King of Trumps as a sort of ace. So the 4 key cards, as they're called, are the 4 aces and the King of Trumps. And I know quite a lot of you use that already, don't you? And there's the scenario. It's fairly similar. The 0 or 5, that should say 0 or 4, shouldn't it?
I thought that was the wrong way around.
5 and the 4 are the wrong way around there. They don't actually come up very often, so there we are. So correction there, it should say 0 or 4, 1 or 5. 1 or 5, 5 is extremely rare. But there we are, it's just to complete it. Okay. So let's
I don't see.
the only thing about Blackwood is that people love it and then use it too often when they shouldn't. So just a brief word of warning. If you have a suit where they could just take the ace king straight off, don't use it. Because you could have 1 ace missing, but you've actually got 2 quick losers. And we'll see some examples of this in a minute. Don't use it with a void, because an ace opposite a void is a duplication of values. You've counted extra for the void, you've counted extra for the ace, but the ace is actually on thin air. And something you may not have appreciated, you have to be very careful in minor suit slams, because if the bidding has to stop at the 5 level, and if you need 5 key cards between you, you need a certain number in your own hand to use it. So Blackwood works better in the major suits unless you've got reasonable numbers. So the thing is with that, you don't want the possibility of more than 2 key cards in both hands, because you've got to settle in 5 clubs, 5 diamonds, 5 hearts, or 5 spades if Blackwood doesn't work for you. Anyway, let's have a look at some examples. Okay, off we go again. Usual idea. West first, please.
1 heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a clear 1 heart from West and from East.
7.
3 hearts.
2 clubs.
Once you've found a major suit fit,
Yeah.
3 hearts. No.
it's 8 losers. It's 11 points. It's really mid-range 3 hearts, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, we're going to start seeing the losing trick count really come into its own now. So we've got 8 losers. Now, it's particularly valuable for West's hand now.
1, 2, 3. There's only 4 losers there.
Yeah.
No.
1.
1, 2,
2.
3, 4, 5 losers.
No.
Now, we've not talked so far about how do we know we're in Blackwood territory?
4 losers.
4 losers.
We do know
Four
from
losers.
bidding that East has 8 losers,
1, 2, 3,
or we assume East
4
East has
losers.
8
4
losers.
losers. Yeah.
We've got just 4. Suddenly it's become a very good hand.
Yeah.
It was a good hand before, now it's a very good hand. We've only got 4 losers.
Yeah.
Now, let's add 4 and 8 together.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
Yeah.
12.
Well,
that's
yeah.
6. You can go to
6.
6.
No,
Guessing
4.
6, isn't it?
6, yeah.
Yeah. And so this is a hand suitable for Blackwood. Now, we're only in hearts, so we only need 1 key card of our own to do this. So what are we going to bid now?
4 no
4
trump.
trumps.
Yes, I wondered if anybody worried about the hearts. The fact is, because we're using key card Blackwood, the ace and the king of hearts missing in the trump suit isn't a problem. So, yep, 4 no trumps. And what's going to be the reply?
4,
2.
Spade.
2,
2 hearts. Is it? 2.
1, 2, 5 hearts. Is
5
it?
hearts. Yeah.
1, 2,
2, yeah, 5 hearts.
5 hearts.
5 hearts, that's showing
2
2,
aces.
2 aces.
2 key cards, isn't it? Sorry, the king of
Yeah.
spades isn't a key card. So, yes,
No.
2 key cards.
Mhm.
What does,
The
What?
pass.
It's pass.
yeah, that's an anticlimax, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because we've avoided a horrible fate of missing the ace and the king of trumps.
Mm.
Yeah.
And this is where, you see, this is where key card Blackwood is such an improvement on ordinary Blackwood. We wouldn't know that otherwise, would we?
No.
And indeed, the contract would fail at 6 hearts because we've simply got the ace and the king of
Yeah.
trumps missing. Now, I know it's an anticlimax, but half of Blackwood is getting out of poor slams. Okay. So even though the losing trick count suggested 6 hearts, the Blackwood, especially key card Blackwood, helped us out of a bad slam. Any questions about that one?
No.
Okay, good. I hope that if you're still using ordinary Blackwood, I hope that's converted you to using key card Blackwood. Okay. We know we've got 2 key cards missing, and in this case, it's the ace and king of trumps. With ordinary Blackwood, we wouldn't have had that information. So we happily stop in 5 hearts. And West, please.
18.
1 heart.
1 heart.
1 heart.
Yeah, 3, 7, 10, 12, 15, 17, 18. It's a 1 heart bid,
Heart.
strong 1 heart bid.
Yeah. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 3 hearts again.
Yeah.
8 losers, well done.
Mhm.
11 points.
2, 3,
True.
4 losers there. So 4 no trump.
Suggesting slam again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
5 losers. Isn't it?
Is it?
4 losers, actually. 1, 2,
4.
3, 4.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You've got 1 spade,
Yeah.
2 hearts.
Yeah. And one club.
And then 5
That-
spades.
That hand has suddenly become very strong. And the answer this time is
5 spades.
it is indeed, Beryl. We've got 3 key
Yeah.
cards.
Plus the king.
Notice the king is
Yeah.
included. The king of hearts, that is, not any other king. It's the king of trumps.
Yeah.
It's 5 clubs is 0, 5 diamonds is 1, 5
spades.
hearts is 2, 5 spades.
Yeah.
So what we're going to have from West after that?
6 hearts.
6 hearts.
Yes, that's right. West himself or herself has 1 key card, the ace of diamonds. So we're only missing 1. So it's 6 hearts.
Why are you showing even with the king?
Should we just stop there because I hear a slight element of uncertainty here from somebody? If you were not sure what happened there, The
No,
fact
I
is,
see. You're counting the king as a,
An ace.
Pat,
Yeah.
sorry.
yeah,
East is counting the king of hearts.
Yeah.
Because it's the king of trumps, it does count.
right.
And once again, it's a great victory because in actual fact, the previous hands weren't really any stronger than this. The fact we've got the king of trumps makes all the difference. Well, actually, it is, East is one key card stronger and a vital one. And I think if we look at that, that's lovely, isn't it? It's a
Yeah.
very nice, easy 6. Just missing the ace of trumps. We've only got one. We've got no spade losers. We've got a heart loser. We can rough a diamond if necessary. And
Yeah.
we've just got to unblock those clubs there. Okay. Right.
Just
Uh,
one thing. When East bids 5 spades because they've got the king of trumps, how does West know that it's only the king of trumps and not the ace?
Well, the fact is,
No.
Pat, they don't. They don't actually know that, and that's a good question. But what we do know, we've got one key. We're West. We've got one key card. We know partner's got 3. So we've got 4 of the 5 key cards. And it doesn't matter which one is missing,
Right, okay.
does it? Now, I think you're starting to begin to suspect the limitations of Blackwood. How do we know which ace? Well, fortunately here, it doesn't matter. But it will in a few minutes, if we've got the stamina.
8, 12, 13,
7,
14, 15, 16,
9,
17, 18, 19.
9, 30,
Yeah.
15.
One heart.
One heart.
One heart indeed.
And what's this? 5,
4,
7,
10 points.
8,
10.
9, 10. 3 hearts.
Yeah, same again.
3 hearts, yeah.
By the way, it's always better if the stronger hand uses Blackwood generally, because they've got more key cards to start with usually.
1, 2.
So what do you think West should bid?
Well, they've only got 4 losers again.
So it suggests what?
So 4 no trump again?
Yeah.
Well,
No?
I don't. It's a bit of a trick question. This one is, we've actually got 4 key cards ourselves.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, we put our trust in the losing trick count. The losing trick count is very good, but it's only suggesting a slam, sometimes called a small slam.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Now, you'll see, because we're lucky enough to see both hands, that actually we've got all 5 key cards between us.
Yeah.
But I think there it's best just to bid 6 hearts straight off.
Right. Okay.
There's no point in wasting time with Blackwood if you know what the answer is going to be. And in fact, if you look closely at that hand, that diamond suit is dodgy. I mean, I wouldn't want to bid a 50-50 grand slam. It would be awful.
Mm.
And that's what it is, isn't it? It depends where the king of diamonds is.
Mm.
Yeah,
You see that?
yeah.
So the losing trick count has come into its own there, because we could have used Blackwood and then suddenly jumped into 7 hearts on the basis of that. But because our partner only bid 3 hearts, I think 6 hearts. No, don't use Blackwood if you've already got 4 key cards.
Right. Okay.
And if you use the simple version, it's the same if you've got 3 of the 4 aces.
Mm.
Now, I'm not pretending the next bit is easy, but we're going to try it anyway. And 2 things. One, if you find the next bit difficult, it's obviously on the website. You can work through it for homework, as it were. 2, we are doing another session of slam bidding in the not too distant future. We might, if we find it a bit too much tonight, we might go over it again. Now, for the first time for most of you, although I did touch on this about 4 years ago at the Fred Reynolds, we're going to go into something called cue bidding.
Oh, right.
Now, unfortunately, you know, a few minutes ago, Pat asked, we don't know which ace is missing or whatever it is. And this actually can become a problem. We can get an answer to Blackwood, which says how many aces have they got, but we don't know whether it's useful or not. Okay. Now, I've said earlier that you don't use Blackwood in certain situations. One is if you've got two quick losers in a suit, like you could use the ace or the king, and another was a void. And we also mentioned the idea that you might not have enough key cards in your hand, especially in the minor suits. So instead of telling partner how many aces you've got, there is a means, it's a convention, of telling partner which ace you've got. Does anybody here tonight use that? Caroline, for example? Keith's away tonight, but
No, don't think we do.
Caroline and Keith don't use this, so we're into new ground here. Okay. Now, the idea of cue bidding, we've said that certain hand, we like using Blackwood because it's not that difficult, really. But there are certain hands where it doesn't work. And let's just go over those again. You've got two quick losers in a suit, the ace and the king, and I don't mean the trump suit. Well, you've got a void. And Blackwood just doesn't work very well for those kind of situations. Now, there's some writing on the screen here, but I think we'll just move straight on to a bit of bidding here. Now, don't worry at all if you find this too difficult. You don't have to take it on board, but I know some of you, especially tonight's audience, do like to be stretched a little bit. So I'll make a start on this and see if we get anywhere with it. If you find it too difficult, we'll save it for a future date. Now, there's a formidable number of bids on the screen, aren't there? Okay, so
One heart, one spade.
One
I think
heart, one spade,
I think the first two you find easy enough. It's one heart and one spade, absolutely. Yeah.
Two spades.
Two spades.
Well,
Three
this is
spades.
where we
Three,
need to.
isn't it?
A
Three
wiser female, I don't know who it was, waited just that bit long, and to me, you got the right answer. Now, we're West. Are we a minimum hand?
No, we've
No,
got 16 points.
Got 6 losers. This is where this is where the losing trick comes into its own. And it tells us we aren't minimum, we've got 6 losers. A minimum hand has 7 losers as opener, doesn't it? Okay. Now, so East has also been to my losing trick count lecture and knows that therefore West has 6 losers.
Yeah.
How many losers has East?
1, 2, 3,
Two,
4,
6.
5, 6, 7, 6.5.
7.
It's a bit in the middle, isn't it?
6.5.
6.
Well,
It's 6.
it's 1, 2, 3. The diamonds are 2 losers, no doubt
Yeah.
about it.
So it's
Now,
one,
I
two,
know
three,
it's-
four,
7,
Sorry, 7. Sorry.
and partner's got 6, so we should be thinking about the 5 level,
Yeah.
because we don't like bidding 5 spades. It's a silly bid, isn't it?
Hmm.
Well, it can have a meaning. What is it about this hand, perhaps, which makes it a cut above its?
The ace of clubs.
Yeah,
Eight in
short
spades.
suits, face short
And you've got
suits.
9 trumps.
Well, we've got a double fit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we've got 9 trumps. That even better reason. So
Mm.
I would upgrade this, and I would call it 6 losers. So what do we bid?
4 clubs.
Oh, that was quite brilliant. Now, probably, was that David?
No,
No.
it was Beryl.
No, I told her what
No,
what
he
to say.
I was obviously just joking there. Why not 4 no trumps, folks?
Well, I suppose you're looking for a slam bid and you're showing that your minimum ace is the ace of clubs.
Probably Blackwood.
Sorry?
What is wrong with bidding Blackwood?
What's wrong with
You've got 2 quick losers in diamonds.
So we could be missing 1 ace, the ace of
Yes.
diamonds, but still look, So this is a classic hand, and it happens quite often where we don't use Blackwood, we bid the cheapest ace. By that I mean the lowest in the bidding ladder. So we'll bid 4 clubs. Okay. Now what happens next is it carries on in the same vein until both sides are happy, basically.
4 diamonds.
Can we just make sure we understand why that's a Q bid? There has been a suit agreement, a major suit agreement anyway, and the new suit has been bid. That shows the ace of clubs. And next, West is going to bid
4 diamonds.
Or done.
Excellent. And doesn't that set our mind at rest as East?
Yeah.
We've got and Pat was saying earlier, how do we know which ace? We do now, in a way that Blackwood couldn't have helped us. So what do we think now as East?
Yeah.
4 no trumps.
That's good. Now, that was one of the girls. Sorry, who was that?
Of course. Right.
Caroline.
Caroline, well done. Indeed, we like using Blackwood. It's easier than Q bidding. We now know we've got control of all 4 suits. So this is quite sophisticated. We now bid 4 no trumps because our fears about diamonds not being our best friend have been allayed. So what does West say now?
If they hadn't got the ace of diamonds, what would you bid there?
I'd have just, that's a very good question. I'd have just copped out in 4 spades.
Right.
Spades. 1, 2, 3, 5 spades, I presume.
5 hearts.
5 spades.
Well, it's 3 key cards, isn't it? We're not playing
5
rope.
hearts.
So the bid, in fact, is 5
5
spades.
spades.
5 spades.
5 clubs we on. 5 diamonds 1. 5 hearts 2.
Not 1, 2. Oh, yeah.
You've got the 5 key cards, so 6 no trump. 6 hearts.
Well, we are taking our partner
6 spades.
for 6 losers. We stretched it a bit, didn't we, to say we were 6 losers. So I think,
Spades.
Yeah.
Yeah. 6
6.
spades. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, usually what you find here is, although you've got 5 key cards, is there anywhere where we might lose a trick? Well, there is a bit, isn't there? There's a possibility.
Diamond.
Yeah. The clubs look a bit iffy.
Clubs are a little bit iffy, although
Oops.
got the extra long suit. But I think we'd be happy there as 6 spades with 6 spades. Now there are some more examples there, but I don't. I'll leave you to assess whether you think you would like to learn this. There are 4 more, but it's at times getting
Too
on.
complicated.
I mean, it is one of the more difficult subjects. There's no doubt about that. I mean, the actual thing itself is quite easy, really. You just show your cheapest ace and so on. I'm in these next few weeks, of course, I'm making the most of it, because before that long, I'll be going right back to scratch with various beginners lessons. So if you like this kind of thing, now is the time to do it. We'll be back to basics next week with third hand play and defence. So I'll stop the share now and just stop the recording. There we
Have
are.
you stopped recording, Chris?